What's up, boys and girls? This is the Gypsy. Again, back at it. Your favorite analyzing mofo of fights guy. This video is gonna be about what is a defensive master and how can you judge if a boxer is genuinely a defensive master. And I'm going to tell you why Precise's Triple G doesn't fall into that criteria, and neither does Canelo in some people's eyes. Because some people think that Canelo is one of those guys as well, defensive master. Why those guys don't fall in? But I think Canelo is more closer in line to being a defensive master than Triple G, and I'll get to the point as soon as I mention my 4 criterias of what a defensive master is composed of. Number 1, like I mentioned in that clown of a channel BDA, number 1 is judge of motherfucking distance. Judge of distance is number 1, and I'll tell you why. Number 2 is timing. And that should be kind of self-explanatory. Number 3 is the body positioning between you and your opposition, whoever you're fighting. And number 4 is counterpunching. And some of you might add, why is counterpunching brought up for the defensive issue? I'll let you know about that as well. Number 1, why is distance the number 1 in my fair and honest opinion? And not timing, because some people are arguing it's timing. No, timing is not it. And I'll tell you why. Because when you are in a certain distance, you don't need that much of timing to help you out. Unless you're just a fucking slow-ass motherfucker, then that's a whole different story, but you shouldn't be boxing in the first place. The reason why distance is it is because if you have a good distance, whether the fighter that's next to you, whoever you're fighting, your opposition, takes 1 step forward, you take 1 step back, or in some cases 2 steps back, and then when he reacts, whatever he does, because there will come a point where a fighter gets frustrated because he can't get you from a certain distance. When he reacts, when he throws it, just to see your reaction. Sometimes they throw punches just to see your reaction, even though it's going to be a miss. It's called probing. Nothing behind the punch, is like a lazy jab type, like you toss it around, it's pawing, that's what they call it. It's not really a jab, it's pawing. Sometimes they do that, sometimes they feint or whatever the case may be. But when you have a good distance, if he makes a reaction, the fighter in front of you makes a reaction, you don't need much time to react, bro. You just don't. Unless you're slow, as I said. Unless you're slow, like some people. You know what I mean? Then you don't need that shit. It's needed, but the timing comes into play after this. After the fucking distance comes the timing, because you have to obviously time him when he comes in and he misses, obviously, right? That's number 2 for a reason. But timing is not considered fucking number 1, because you can't time every fucking shot. It's virtually impossible to do that. But with a good distance, you can make a lot of most of the shots, 90 shit, maybe all the shots, you can make them miss, as long as you have the distance planned out. This is the reason why I'm gonna bring Roy Jones into this conversation. Why Roy Jones Jr. is such a effective defensive masters, at his prime. Why he was so hard to fucking hit. Yes, the reflexes had a lot to play. He was very talented. But it's always with this fool, when you watch his fights, there's always a distance. He made it impossible for his opposition to hit him because of the distance. He was a master at controlling the distance. Master. That's number one criteria. That's the number one. Second is timing. Timing is where you time. This is where this comes into play. When he steps back, you step forward, or he steps forward, you step back. This is where it comes to big. This is where it plays a huge part when it comes to timing. That's number two, and why that is so efficient. The timing, and that why timing is not number one, as I mentioned, because you can't time every shot. Especially close range. You think you can fucking block every single shot from close range? I mean, not block. Make a miss. If you get hit in the fucking gloves, you're still getting hit, man. Realistically, you're still getting hit. I know it's not counting punches, but they can still hurt you. You know what I mean? And you will get hit if you make a miss a couple of times at close range. Eventually, that guy's going to touch you. That's why the fight is usually based off the jab, right? And where does the jab lean towards? The distance. For crying out goddamn fucking loud, bro. The distance. Some fights, yeah, they fucking go at it. They fucking go at each other like crazy. But the distance, if the fight is based off of most, at least elite level fighters are based off of jabs, right? Their fighting is based off the jab. If it's based off the jab, they're controlling the distance. And the distance, if you control the distance really good, like Bivol, for instance, like all my top 5 pound for pound motherfuckers, they all control the distance really good. And if you don't know my pound for pound, I'll let you know right now. Loma, Terrence Crawford, Usyk, Pacquiao, and fuck it, Triple G and Canelo, fucking Bivol number 5. Those are my top 5 pound for pound. And all those guys control distance phenomenally. Some obviously do better than others. That's why there's levels to this shit. Even in the master degree of defense, there's levels to this shit. You know what I mean? Like some people who don't know that shit, Suzanne, Carnival, you know, shave that fucking beard. It's ridiculous, motherfucker. You look like fucking, I don't know, Huckleberry Finn or something like that. I don't know what the fuck you are. You look shitty as fuck with that shit. You look like a chick with a beard, bro. Let me just say that much. Anyways, all that shit aside, that's number 2. Number 3, positioning. If you put the guy in a position where he has trouble hitting you, whether it's stepping to the angles, to the side, or, you know, dodging to the side, ducking to the side, whatever, it makes you making it harder for the guy to hit. That's another thing that is also valued in the Defensive Mastery Academy. I just say that much. You know what I mean? Even though positioning also plays a factor in offensive, but we're not talking about offensive. We're talking about defensive here. It's primarily more of a defensive thing than anything else. But it's also offensive. It's equal, 50-50, but we're talking about defensive, so I brought the number 3, position. Number 4 is counterpunching, because if you cannot counterpunch, no matter how good you are in the other 3 criteria, if you can't get the guy off of you, he will touch you. And if he hits hard, he can outpoint you, he can do whatever, you know, all this shit. He can knock you out. He can knock you down. You got to get the guy off of you. You have to make him respect your power. That's why that falls into the Defensive Academy. 4 criteria, bro. 4. And now I'm going to bring about the case with Triple G and why he's not a defensive master. And then Canelo is actually better as a defensive master than he is. Even though Canelo lost the second fight, with him, in my eyes, But he's better at it. I'll tell you why. But he's not a defensive master. Again, I told you, neither one of these two guys are defensive masters. Triple G can judge distance good. In his prime, I'm gonna mention the prime. I'm not gonna mention this washed up version of himself. I won't mention the prime. He was very good at judging distance, but not the best at judging distance. He ain't nowhere near the level of Bivol, I can tell you that much. Not even Pacquiao. Old ass Pacquiao. Not even fucking Usyk. Not even Lomachenko. Should I continue? Not even fucking, what else is it? There's another guy. Terence Crawford. Shit, not even Terence Crawford. You can go ahead and say that as well. But Terence Crawford, no, not even Terence Crawford. You can go ahead and say that too. Terence Crawford. He judges better distance than fucking Triple G does. Number 2, timing. He's very good at timing, but he's not the best at timing. All the guys I just mentioned are better than him at timing. Shit, Canelo is better than timing than he is. Canelo can be you can put him up there with these guys, but I don't know who's better than Canelo. I have to mention names and compare. Third thing that positioning. His positioning is good, but not great. He just ain't. Whether you like to believe it or not, it ain't. Does he throw angles? No. Shit. Devinchenko has better positioning than fucking Triple G does. Canelo has better positioning than he does. I can also say that as well. Actually, Canelo and Triple G comparison. No, he does. He has better positioning. For a guy smaller than him as well. You gotta also consider that. Number 4, counterpunching. He's also good at that too, but not great. Canelo is actually better at counterpunching than Triple G is. Yeah, he's actually an elite level of counterpunching, Canelo. He's a master at it. Canelo is a master at counterpunching. Better than fucking Triple G is. That's why he's wary of the counterpunches in both fights. Do you see where I'm going with this? Why Triple G does not belong as a defensive master like fucking Triple G fanboys will keep saying. And I like Triple G, but I never once ever put him at pound for pound number 1. Shit, I had troubles putting him at number 2. And the guys that I mentioned, except for Pacquiao, a lot of them, they had to prove themselves. They were just Lomachenko, for instance, for me to even consider him number 1. They had to slowly build themselves up. Lomachenko, Usyk, Terence Crawford as well. Who else did I say? Bivol as well. Only Pacquiao was the only one that had to prove nothing to me. So, when we talk about defensive master, this is the reason why Triple G has not been going up in weight divisions. Because he's also wary about, he gets hit a lot. Devinchenko hit him a lot. This is the reason why he hasn't gone up, because he's wary of the punches, the effect of the punches in a higher weight division. But why is fucking Canelo, somebody like Canelo, not so wary? Because he's defensively more sound than fucking Triple G is. The only thing that he lacks in the number 1 criteria that Triple G is better at, that's why he fucking beat him in the first fight, the first one and the second one for me. The distance. But then you can also consider the fact that Triple G had the longer reach. Triple G had the better jab, because the reach also playing a factor of that as well. Yeah, and he's fighting a guy that was, shorter, with shorter reach than him. Shorter legs than him also. But defensively, Canelo is the better between them, because he excels in 3 criteria better than fucking Triple G. And I told you, the positioning, the timing, and number 4, you can't sit there and tell me his hand speed reflexes are slower than fucking Triple G's. Hell fucking no. The timing, the positioning of the body, and the counter punching abilities of Canelo is more. The 4 criteria. That's how I judge it. See where Triple G falls in. He's not a defensive master. Well, then we're talking about Tyson Fury because Suzanne likes to bring in my Tyson Fury. I like Tyson Fury, but if Tyson Fury loses a fight, man, I'll be the first one to say it. I like Triple G before I even like Tyson Fury. So you can't even give me that shit. And even when I had the name switched up, the Gypsy boxing style, I still like Triple G more than fucking Tyson Fury. Jesus Christ. Anyways, that's a different story. That's a whole different fucking story. Why Tyson Fury is more of a defensive master than fucking Triple G? Because he judges the distance better than Triple G. 1, a lot better. Number 2, his timing is actually, in a lot of ways, better than fucking Triple G. Not by a lot, but ways. I would say better. Not a lot. It's not too much. I wouldn't say too much. His timing is not too much away from Triple G's. Triple G's got a good, decent timing. You know what I mean? But still over fucking Triple G's timing. Number 3, his body positioning. You can't tell me his body positioning ain't better than fucking Triple G's. And number 4 is where Tyson Fury lacks a little bit, is the counter punching abilities, where he might be even or maybe slightly better than Triple G. So you tell me, based off what I just said, who's the better defensive master? Obviously Tyson Fury. And because the guy has been dropped, it doesn't mean shit. Triple G got a fucking rock hard chin. He has the best chin. He still has technically the best chin in fucking boxing for his weight division. So being dropped is not a way to look at if a guy is in the level of a defensive master. And Tyson Fury is definitely a level of a defensive master. Yes, he is not as good based off of what I just said. Based off of what I just said, when I compare it to Usyk, for instance, because of the counter-punching abilities is lacking, but depends. Sometimes he's very, very good at counter-punching abilities. You know what I mean? But because of that, maybe, just maybe, Usyk could be a better defensive master than fucking Tyson Fury. But I think where he lacks on that department, he lacks the distance. He controls the distance better than fucking Usyk. So maybe even at that point, this is a hard one to fucking pick up. Like I said in the BDA channel, it's hard for me to say who is a better defensive master between the other guys that I mentioned. I think I added a few, I added Pacquiao into my list over here from pound for pound. Pacquiao, there's also Saunders at his prime, at his best. There's also another guy to consider as well. But because of those, it's kind of hard to tell. I have to really look into it to say who really is the better defensive master. But if you say Usyk is, I have no problems with that. If you said Tyson Fury is, I have no problems with that either. Because they're pretty close. This is the reason why Usyk is able to go up from cruiserweight to fucking heavyweight, and Triple G is not able to even get to 168, for crying out loud. Because he's afraid of his defensive abilities. He's not that great. He's not a defensive master. But Pacquiao is. Fucking Lomachenko is. Usyk is. Like I just mentioned, Terrence Crawford is. And who else? Bivol is, for sure, 100%. Those are all defensive masters. You know what I mean? And shit, Saunders is one of those motherfuckers as well. If at best, that's why he's up. Because when you're a defensive master, you don't worry when you go up and wait what the shot's gonna come at you, because you think in your mind you're confident enough that you can make a miss. But Triple G, natty, no. Now that you get it, you guys all get the fundamentals of fucking Defensive Mastery Academy. It's 4 criterias. But the number 1, judging the distance. Number 2, timing. Number 3, body position. Number 4, counter punching. And I've explained why all 4 are where they are and why they are ranked the way they are. I said timing, you can put timing number 1, but there's a reason why timing ain't it. Because in close range, you're bound to get hit. And you can't, with timing, there's a thing that motherfuckers don't understand about timing, is you're pretty much trying to predict what your opposition is going to do a lot of times. And you cannot predict everything your opposition can do. Do you understand? Comprende? This is why Canelo is able to fight Kovalev, because he's more defensively sound. He doesn't worry about fighting somebody like Kovalev as much. But Triple G would worry a hell of a lot more, because he is not. Because he lacks in the 3 areas that Canelo excels, and he's in technically almost elite status. But the reason why I don't put him at elite is because he lacks the number 1 over somebody like Tyson Fury that lacks the number 4, which is the counter punching. He lacks the number 1, which is fucking the distance. He's not that great at judging distance. If he wears glasses like some motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Mark, you're sucking on nipples, bro. I was watching fucking boxing, you fucking child. Anyways, fucking boxing history. Anyways, all that shit aside, fuck your Estrada. I mentioned a few names in the BD8 Clown channel. I'm going to add a few more names. The possibility, because Pacquiao was not one of them, possibility of master defensive boxing. Here it is. Lomachenko, right? Usyk, right? Terence Crawford, right? Bivol 4, right? Pacquiao 5, right? Let me repeat that again. Let me see. Lomachenko, Terence Crawford, Usyk, Pacquiao, Bivol, Tyson Fury, and number 7. It's an iffy depending on how this guy comes out to fight. Is Saunders. These guys are defensive masters. Saunders is the only guy that's an iffy situation if he comes out. It depends on how he comes to fight. If he comes out prepped up, pretty good, like he came up against David Lemieux, like he came up against a few other dudes recently, even though they were bums. David Lemieux is not a bum. Just because he couldn't touch him up doesn't mean shit. Does that make Gassiev a bum because he couldn't touch up fucking Usyk? He's not a bum. He's just not at the elite level. That's all it is. See where I'm getting at, buddy boys, buddy bus? Huh? This is why hashtag no fanboyism. I judge it off of fucking criterias. These motherfuckers are, one of these guys that I mentioned, these 7 dudes, is the best at Defensive Mastery Academy. And I'll probably make a video to tell you which one it is, but I haven't really sit there and assessed which one it is the best out of these. But I brought Triple G and Canelo into the conversation to show you how far in between these guys are, these 2 guys are, over the rest of the guys I just mentioned. That's why these two don't belong in the top 5 pound for pound. Neither Canelo, neither fucking Triple G. But then again, resume also plays a factor. So if Canelo goes in and knocks out Kovalev, and does it or beats him on the scorecards, in my eyes, then I have to give him pound for pound number 1. Resumes also play a factor. But remember, this guy is pretty top level in 3 criterias. The only one, the number 1, is the one he lacks the most. And that's the reason why he lost against Triple G. The number 1, it's the judging of distance. He ain't that good at it. Shit, fucking Kovalev. Kovalev is another dude that you can probably say, but he lacks other areas that falls into the with the defensive masters that I just mentioned, the 7 dudes that I mentioned. Kovalev is another one that you might put him up there as well, because he has the number 1 thing, judging a distance on point, elite level on point. Number 2, timing. He's okay at it. He's great at it, actually. I can't really say too much on the timing factor of it. To say anything, I gotta watch a little more clips of Kovalev to say that shit. His body positioning, he's pretty good at. Very good at. Elite level, top level. Counter punching, he's very good at. Shit, man. You can put Kovalev up there as well. He's a defensive master as well. He is. He's not probably as good as the other guys, maybe. Still tough to tell. So there's 8 dudes. Not 7, 8 dudes. Kovalev is another one. Yeah. Don't you dare mention Groznik or Dietrich. They don't belong in that. No, none of those 2 guys fucking belong there either. Kovalev is another one. Just keep forgetting about Kovalev, you know what I mean? Like, for some reason. Kovalev is right there, fucking great boxer, and I keep forgetting about him. Yeah. These guys are defensive. Maybe there's a few more out there that, and when I mention few more, I mean mention few more from Lomachenko's weight division and up, because I'm not talking about the other guys. Inoue is pretty good, but he's not a defensive master. Inoue is the best in the lowest divisions. You know what I mean? He's the best. I've seen anybody. No fucking Estrada. No Loca. None of those motherfuckers are good. None of them are that. No Nito Tener. None of those motherfuckers. Come on, bro. Don't even mention those names. Nito Tener gets clipped all around, bro. Anyways. Yeah, these are the guys. Kovalev can also be considered one of those dudes as well. But Kovalev, I think, realistically, kind of falls back. Maybe he's not as good as Saunders. Maybe. But I can't say that. Saunders lacks a lot of things as well. He lacks in certain areas as well. You can rate Kovalev's for sure. Yeah, he's above Saunders. Saunders is probably the weakest link out of all the guys I just mentioned. Because he can come out really good, and even if he comes out really good, his press is not better than Kovalev. Skill for skill set. As a defensive master. Anyways. It's been fun educating you motherfuckers. If there's anything else that I forgot, I don't think I forgot anything else I should mention in here. Nah, there isn't. This is the Gypsy out.